Pokemon Crystal is the third and arguably last Gen 2 game, depending on how you define that. This game allowed you to experience the Johto region with a plethora of old and new Pokemon. In other words, it is a Pokemon game that is the same as all other Pokemon games, and we love it. Trainers have, over the years, completed this game with all sorts of good and less good Pokemon. But in the free market that the game's Pokemon pool is, there has got to be at least some Pokemon that have not received their proper degree of respect. Gems in the sands that were unnoticed or under-noticed by all the fans. At least until now, for Pokerebels is finally here. With our microscope of objectivity, we are scouring the entire game for the 6 most underrated Pokemon in Johto. Now, bear in mind that we are talking about the most underrated Pokemon, not the best ones. No, I'm sure your freaking grandma knows Gyarados is good. You have probably waited all week for the Friday Lapras. Those ones are not underappreciated. What we are searching for are the ones that actually are. Also, we're focusing on the pre-Elite Four segment of the game, as Kanto is a weird, unstructured mess that you are probably using whatever team you had for anyway. I mean, look at some of these wild Pokemon levels. Now, of course, we might be biased towards Pokemon we think do not get as much love, but here's our list of the 6 most underrated Pokemon in Johto. At number 6, we have Ratatta. Ratatta is definitely the early route Pokemon of all time, but in the early game, it turns out to be one of the best available options. It gets a good stab move in Quick Attack and a powerful move in Hyper Fang, which does not smash either Faulkner or Bugsy, but is definitely welcome both against them and any random trainer along the way, except for maybe Hiker Anthony. Just saying. But the real rat genius comes at Whitney. Whitney is arguably the scariest fight in the game because of the Demon Miltank, though thanks to the rat, you can try to YOLO your way by means of Hyper Fang spam. Now obviously, that's not a guaranteed thing that would work, but in most cases, you will at least beat the Clefairy and make a dent on the big cow's HP. Another tool in the rat's cow hunting arsenal is TM Dig. The move has noticeably less damage potential than Hyper Fang, but comes with the huge benefit of preventing Miltank from stacking rollouts once it has started, well, rolling. Now of course, that is more useful when you have a girl Raticate, aka a Raticate immune to Miltank's attract, though boys can also dig it. When it faces Morty, Mint Berry Dig Raticate easily sweeps the 4th gym, no questions asked. Ratatta also beats some Pokemon in the Ekritique rival fight, like Magnemite and Haunter, and can brawl with any starter. From there, our boy Rat falls off really hard and does not do a lot except for maybe beating the Magnemites on Jasmine with Dig, but its performance overall makes it very underrated in our eyes. At number 5, we have Totodile. Now, it may be an absolute shocker that we consider a starter Pokemon to be underrated, especially since Totodile is not, like, you know, the most hated Pokemon of all time. Even further, this game gives you Gyarados, which is a better physical water type, overshadowing the Gator in every possible way. Well, there is more to that story. Feraligatr has very useful traits, even over Gyarados, namely more special attack, as well as Ice Punch, which Gyarados is not exactly equipped for. And while Gyarados is definitely a great Pokemon, Feraligatr can use these unique traits against Claire's Dragonair, as well as Lance's Dragonites and Charizard to do significantly more damage. And even if a trainer judges Gyarados' higher overall stats to be the superior factor, there is no real reason to not have both of them for the Elite Four, as water types with ice coverage are very good there to a point, where having more than one of them is definitely not a bad choice. And more importantly, Totodile is definitely better than Cyndaquil, which a lot of people pick over it despite it only having Bugsy, Jasmine, and Koga as good matchups and way less overall utility than the Gator, but hey. Moving to number 4, we have Smoochum. It is common knowledge that Jynx can be encountered in its evolved form in the Ice Path, and that Smoochum is only available as one of the options that the free egg you receive from the daycare can hatch to, which makes getting it not likely, let alone guaranteed. Smoochum has, however, one particular trait that is very important. It gets Psychic at level 37, which Jynx can't get except with a TM, and Psychic and Ice, as it turns out, are both very good types for the 8th gym leader and on. Ice Punch Jynx beats the Dragonairs that Claire has and can decently dent the Kingdra by being faster and tanking serves, which may force the dragon to KO it with Hyper Beam, giving the Jynx player a free turn to beat it with different Pokemon. In the Elite Four, Jynx's Psychic and Ice coverage make it good against Will Xatu and Executor. It may also try to brawl with the other Pokemon using Thief. The Smoochum's gift of Psychic will come in very handy against Koga and Bruno, the latter of which Jynx brutally solos, thanks to the move. Jynx has 3 targets on Karen in Vileplume, Murkrow, and Gengar, and of course, Lance's Dragonite easily falls to the might of freezing cold punches. All in all, getting that sweet Smoochum is a lot more valuable than most players would intuitively realize. At number 3, one of our favorites, Staryu. Now this can arguably come above or below Jynx, but seasoned followers of this channel will know that we love Starmie at Pokerebels. Pokemon Crystal's game design correction of allowing the player to get access to the evolution stones in Johto allows Staryu to evolve into Starmie. And while TM's Psychic, Thunderbolt, and Blizzard would definitely have helped a lot, Starmie still gets the goated moveset of Blizzard, Thunderbolt, Surf, and Recover. That moveset helps it to be great into Chuck, destroying the Poliwrath in particular, soloing Price, beating Jasmine's Steelix, and of course, Blizzard clears dragons to death. The massive impact of the Bolt Beam coverage continues into the Elite Four, where all of Will's Pokemon are hit super effectively by it, except for Jynx, which still cannot beat Starmie 1v1, thanks to the latter's typing. Koga will also have a hard time against the sheer stats of Starmie, and his Crobat is hit super effectively by Blizzard. Bruno will fail to do anything to Starmie, and needs to be bonkers lucky with crits to beat it, as it recovers off any damage. And Starmie is even better than Jynx at Karen, as it can hit Houndoom super effectively. Oh, and it also one-shots every Pokemon Lance has, you know, except for a few missed Thunderbolts or Blizzards. So Starmie is, for the 2nd generation in a row, very solid. Moving on to number 2, we have Abra. The reason why most people don't even notice this thing is that it not only notoriously infuriates you as you try to catch it because of, you know, teleport, but the few people who either do get lucky enough to catch it or are keen-eyed enough to get it from the game corner for 100 coins will probably trade it away for Machop, which is admittedly way better for Whitney than Kadabra. But Kadabra's arc of excellence begins a little bit further, and we even stack the deck against it in some sense, since we are not taking into account the unlikely possibility that the player may have, what are they called again? Oh yeah, friends, to trade evolve it into Alakazam. So starting from level 21, Kadabra's main attacking move is Psybeam. It also gets Recover at level 26, but, and maybe even more importantly, Kadabra gets access to all 3 Elemental Punch TMs, which gives it massive coverage to back its dandy 125 special attack stat. Kadabra will, of course, be excellent against the Ghost Gym, where the only Pokemon equipped to handle it is the Gengar, and beating 3 of 4 Pokemon is definitely nice. Chuck will also suffer from the Psybeam's power, though Kadabra will be in trouble if Primeape manages to retaliate with a normal move. Poliwrath is a way better matchup thanks to its only physical move being resisted by Kadabra. Price will fall to Thunder Punch and Fire Punch, Jasmine's Pokemon being also weak to the latter, especially if Steelix makes the tactical 500 IQ decision to set Sunny Day. Claire gets eviscerated by Never Melt Ice boosted Ice Punches, at least all of her Dragonairs do, making Kadabra effectively a side grade from Jynx. Kadabra's massive speed and special attack with Psychic and Elemental Punch coverage will also prove deadly against the Elite Four, where Kadabra has a super effective move for literally all the Pokemon that you face, except for Umbreon and Houndoom. Of course, Kadabra cannot run all of his moves at the same time, but that is hardly a problem thanks to the Elemental Punch TMs being extremely cheap, and therefore allowing the player to just buy a bunch of them, and also have a moveset of Psychic, Recover, and whatever 2-punch moves are best suited for the next fight. Kadabra thus destroys the first 3 Elite Four members, has a Jynx-like scenario on Karen, and can beat Gyarados, the Dragonites, and possibly Charizard on Lance. Aerodactyl being less likely to fall due to its speed and physical attacking prowess. Before we move on to number 1, here are a few quick honorable mentions in no particular order. And finally, at number 1, we have The Rock. Geodude is available as early as Route 46 as well as in Dark Cave, making it possible to use before the first trainer battle in the game, excluding the first rival fight. Most of the Pokemon in this list were mentioned because of their great abilities mid and late game, but when it comes to the early game, nothing beats The Rock. Geodude is one of the absolute best Pokemon for Faulkner, together with the far less useful afterwards traded Onix, and the way too specific hidden power Electric Ice unknown. If paired with a flying type such as Hoot Hoot, Geodude can beat Faulkner at level 9, which makes it crucial for hardcore Nuzlocke. Now from there, Geodude totally whoops Bugsy, and is a great pick for Whitney, thanks to Magnitude being a great move for that point in the game. Geodude is definitely not a guaranteed solo for these fights, but the odds are pretty good, especially if female, which is great, especially given how easily Whitney can spiral out of control. Geodude may then evolve into Graveler, but the gym killing spree is quite unaffected as Magnitudes will kill everything Morty stands for, though he probably won't be mad as they're already dead anyway, you know. On top of that, Geodude deals quite nicely with all the Pokemon the rival gets up to at that point outside of water and grass starters, which is definitely pretty funny. What makes Geodude even more underrated than the previously mentioned Pokemon in our view is that its roles are a lot harder to replace compared to something like Kadabra or Jynx, for which there is a lot more alternatives later in the game, though there is nothing that quite does what Geodude can do as well as he does it. From that point on, Graveler falls off quite drastically, keeping only a few good uses here and there, including beating Jasmine's Magnemites, the Rocket Radio Tower Gauntlet, Coughings and Wheezings, the 3 exploding Electrodes and Mahogany, and of course, some Pokemon in the rival fights. Though this video is, as we mentioned, focused on Johto, Graveler has an extreme-based application against none other than Red himself. Not only can it make the Pikachu a non-issue, but Silk Scarf Explosion does at least 65% with a level 55 Graveler. This really helps it to mitigate grinding and getting a Pokemon that is a perfect lead and can set itself up to either trade blows 1-for-1 or massively damage Snorlax, which is the best of Red's team. The most fun part about it is that Graveler is available in Mount Silver at around level 45, which gives you a good team member, just chilling there, ready to be slightly grinded to boom on Snorlax, thus being a great finale to a great Pokemon. So, which Pokemon do you think deserved more love in Pokemon Crystal? Is there another Pokemon that no one believes in yet, that you have used with great success? Feel free to tell us in the comments, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel as it helps us out a lot. Check out these videos while you're at it, and on that note, have a great one.